Yeah, it's confusing. I mean, we were
unless
asking
you don't know,
We saw the smoke pineapple.
we were asking you questions that I know other people have had the same questions. It's time for the Suffering Podcast. 2 years of suffering. And where are we? The Suffering Podcast has rebranded the word suffering by showing that there is an essential part of healing and happiness that must be experienced to have any perspective and appreciation for the achievements that are made in your life. Hosted by 2 retired police officers forced to end their career early due to traumatic events, they have experienced the darkness and despair that suffering can force you into, ultimately re-emerging from the darkness to highlight what they have learned on their path, entering into a new life of service. We offer the opportunity each week to highlight stories of suffering, with the hope of giving the audience the tools that are needed to overcome adversity. Beginning in the basement, on a meager knowledge base and resources, with a little bit of luck and determination, we've endured with a commitment to continuing the message of suffering into success due to our deep-seated belief its value in the modern world. So now, it's time to celebrate. I'm Kevin Donaldson here with Mike Failace on this very special episode of the Suffering Podcast, live from the Grande Saloon in Clifton, New Jersey. We're here to celebrate our 2-year anniversary.
It's an anniversary episode for us. I mean, that's crazy.
This is our second time we've done this.
We didn't do a first anniversary episode, though, did we?
No, we ran this like small commercial for the end of season 1, and it was right around our first anniversary. But, you know, we needed a little bit of a break. So this is our ending of season 2.
Yeah.
So not only is it our second anniversary, Grande Saloon, these 2 episodes, hopefully we'll do 2 episodes.
I'm sure we got a lot of people that came in to see us already. So.
Yeah, and it's early. It's early. So these episodes are going to be our end of season 2. Season 3 is off the charts, and it's ramping up to be even better than we thought.
Season 3, we're starting off with a fighting chance.
Yeah. Well, I think the first episode is going to be a knockout.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. We did all our normal stuff.
I almost did get knocked out.
Wait till you see this one.
Yeah.
It gets a little tense in the studio. But we got a lot of former guests coming in already.
Yeah.
Some people we haven't seen, we've spoken to here and there.
And people we haven't seen since they've been on. I mean, there's a couple, we see Eric a lot, we see Tara and, Pamela a lot, but I haven't seen Mark, Nick, and Ashley.
We got a blast from the past with Dan Hardwick coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I haven't seen Dan, because Dan and I used to work in the same place, and he left, and I haven't seen him since then. We've talked here and there and stuff like that. But so stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff in store tonight. We're going to be here all night. We're going to be doing some recordings. We're going to be rubbing elbows with people. We got a lot of people coming still. So we got a lot in store for you tonight. Stay tuned.
Sit your ass down.
And we're sitting here with a very, very early podcast.
Premike Podcast.
Premike Podcast. We're sitting here with Dan Hardwick, one of my better friends, who was kind enough to help out a humble new podcaster. I said,
that says a lot about him if he's been a friend for a long time now.
Dan and I met, a few years ago, and we just sort of clicked, because we have a lot of the same interests. He's into fitness. He likes men too, just like me. Just like me.
Whatever floats your boat.
Hey, no, I'm just kidding.
There's plenty here for that.
So when I approached you about doing this show, walk me through what was going on up here.
Yeah.
Please be honest. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
Absolutely, no. I know you got tough skin.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was really cool because we were introduced through our mutual friend Liz Morella, who was actually the wellness coach at our where we worked, and she introduced me to you, kind of saying exactly what you said. Hey, you have similar interests as this guy. You think the same way. So I was very interested to meet you and kind of hear what you had to say. And then you talked to me about the podcast.
What's up,
I said it sounds like it could be an interesting opportunity. I've never been on a podcast, so see what it's all about. And it's just talking to a guy and exchanging ideas.
It's 2 friends sitting around, 3 friends now sitting around the table talking. That's really all it comes down to. Bearing your soul.
I always envisioned, like, when I ask guests, they're like, okay, my friend will do it. He's my friend. I guess I'll do it. Doing nothing in the basement. Because back then, we did it in a basement.
Yeah.
And
You guys
Before
did
the
it.
studio.
You guys did it in the basement. You guys do like guys, don't you?
yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
For the content.
So there's a funny story about Dan. So when my first co-host, the one that I started it with, I was getting these feelings that he was just going to check out. He was going to bounce out. And I approached Dan. I was like, hey, Dan, would you be interested in coming in here and there occasionally? Because having a co-host, it's not essential, but it makes life a hell of a lot easier. So you were one of the first people I let that out to. You were the only person I let that out to. And sure as shit, it certainly happened.
Yep.
But then you come in for your episode about millennials.
Yep.
And I learned a lot from that because I had this view about Dan's a millennial, and I had this view about millennials. They're lazy, they're good for nothing, they're entitled, all that stuff.
Complain about everything.
Right.
Well, really, then this is, I think, the third time he's been here, right? Did he come that? You came to Hackensack
yeah,
Brewing.
Hackensack
right?
Brewing.
Yeah. Hackensack Brewing
Yeah.
Company.
So you,
It might be the first time we've had someone on 3 times.
all right, you're our first triple
Look at
There
play.
we go. There we go.
See, that's what millennials aren't all that bad then.
We can go when we want to.
But you know what it is? It is you always look, and we've said this before, where you look at the lowest common denominator of everything.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately our views of millennials, it's always the lowest common denominator. And Dan proved that wrong, because Dan's an extremely hard worker. He's very intelligent. He's not entitled. He's willing to work for everything he got. You did that challenge not that long ago, the Murphy challenge.
No, the Goggins one.
Did you do the Goggins or the
I
Murphy?
did the dummy down Goggins.
Yeah.
I didn't do the Murph, but yeah, I did the full.
If he wasn't a millennial, he would have done the full one. Dummy down,
I
right?
did the
Millennials are lazy.
I cheated. Yeah, I wasn't ready to do the 48 miles in 48 hours, but I did 30 miles in 30 hours. I think.
God bless.
Yeah, you and your buddy did it, right?
Yeah. We raised a couple. I think we raised like a couple $1,000s for cancer. So
Yeah.
it was
Nice.
sweet. It was
Good.
cool.
You've seen us from the beginning. Like, you've seen things change drastically. What do you think the biggest change in this show has been, besides this guy?
I mean,
And cameras.
Cameras,
yeah. I mean, now you guys got a studio. You got cameras here. There's mic checks going on. It's
We got a producer.
It's a little different than when I was there in Kevin's basement for sure.
It was all right.
Even
We're
at
on.
Hackensack Brewing.
Yeah.
We had the tent blowing over that night. We had people holding down a tent.
Exactly. You guys have come a long way, but
Now we're actually indoors doing it.
exactly. But I think that the premise has remained the same, which is what I respect about you guys. It's at the end of the day, you're doing it not to get views and all stuff. It's to help people.
And we're not conforming.
Correct.
We don't conform to anything. We stick to our values and our laurels, and we roll with it.
It's a pretty evergreen concept. That's the thing with it. It's an evergreen concept.
Well, it's a visceral word.
We will never ever run out of material.
No.
And we've proven that. Back long ago when we were recording just on audio, we would get short on guests. We're like, oh man, who do we got now? Like, who can we ask? And we just would rack our brains on who to ask. It's changed now where people will come to us, which is a little bit more comforting.
And former guests are getting us new guests.
Right, and there's a part of me that misses the old way of
Suffering
doing
of
it.
it.
Yeah, the old way of doing it. You appreciated it. You got somebody in there, and it was you were so thankful. And it's not that I'm not thankful for having people come in now, but it's just different. That's all I can tell you.
And then we branched off into Hoboken.
Oh, Hoboken.
And we got...
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of the Hobokenites
Yeah,
just walked in.
Yeah.
He's sitting there at the
I
bar
just
playing
heard
with his...
I just heard the alarms go off when he walked in, so I figured a Hoboken guy came
I'll tell you
in
the
the
thing
house.
about Hoboken people. They are true survivors. But Dan, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being with us from the beginning. We don't connect as much as we used to, but we still, reach out and stuff like that. And you're one of that thing that happened the other week. You're one of the first people that I sent that to.
I'm always here to support you guys, and I wish I could have been the co-host that you were looking for. But honestly, I know that it worked out better.
It's not too late. It's not too late.
You guys got a good dynamic. I know you guys bring each other a lot, but you guys got a good dynamic. What Mike brings is, what I could not. I don't have the experience that you have.
It's time. Believe it or not, it's time.
It is. And
It's the stupidity that you don't have. You're smart. I'm
I don't
not.
have the life experience that you guys have. What you guys have, created here is really, really something special.
Well, you'll get there one day.
Yeah, and I try to look to guys like you to learn from, and hopefully you guys sharing your story is helpful to people my age, younger, whatever. because hopefully we won't have to, learn the mistakes or learn the lessons the way you guys did.
Yeah.
We can learn from you guys rather than having to experience it ourselves. So
You guys are going to make all different mistakes.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we teach the next generation the same.
Sounds to me like he's trying to start his own podcast and he's feeding off us now.
It's the millennial
off our
suffering
mistakes.
podcast. That's what it is.
He's goading us along. I'm not going to learn from your mistakes.
No, you're gonna be like a spinoff. You're like Frasier, who's a spinoff of Cheers.
That's it.
You know,
You guys coach me through it.
Dan, I really appreciate you coming in. Thanks so much. You've always supported us, and we'll always have you around.
Yeah, absolutely. You're part of the family. We tell everybody that. Once you're in, you're in.
Yes, I appreciate it.
All right, we're gonna be right back with a couple people who I'm actually surprised so many people came.
Yeah.
And we're going to come right back, and you're not going to believe who's here. And welcome back. We
Once
have
again.
one of our audio guests.
Yeah,
And
it's a
a
long
very
time ago.
special person to us who is family. We've protected her.
And brought in her family.
We've actually gotten a lot of flack from recording you and your brother.
Yeah.
And your brother. I'm going to tell you a short story about that, but let's welcome Ashley Churi to come back. Ashley, when I reached out to you and we had a mutual connection. I know Eric. Through Eric.
Yeah,
That's
Eric,
right.
yeah.
I'm thinking it was your brother then you or then you. No, it's you then your brother, and two guys ask you to come in on their podcast and. We had a short conversation, like what's off limits, what's good, what's not good. What were your feelings about that?
I was a little nervous at first when I first got asked, but you guys made it very comfortable. When I started talking to you on the phone, you just made it sound so easy and carefree that I was like, what the hell?
And it really is. I mean, it's like I said, it's just like three friends sitting around a table.
Yeah.
You forget the microphones are even there, although we have to hold them now so you don't forget.
Yeah, I know. But
someone didn't come prepared.
the subject matter of your show can be tense to certain people.
Yeah.
And
confusing.
Yeah, it's confusing. I mean, we were
Unless
asking
you don't know,
We saw the smoke planning.
we were asking you questions that I know other people have had the same questions to you. But when I spoke to you for a couple minutes, I'm like, I'm not doing it to offend you. I'm doing it because I don't know and I want to learn. Ashley has gone through transition. All right. Have you gone any further?
No, I haven't gotten any further with physical transition. I'm very comfortable with where I am right now.
So the plumbing's still there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Just checking.
we talked about that. You can't unring that bell when that's done. I strongly suggest you do not. You're fine the way you are.
As long as you're enjoying yourself, that's all that matters.
When you came on there, was it what you expected?
It was, like he said, it was a lot more friends talking.
Mm-hmm.
It went a lot easier than I expected.
Yeah,
But,
your recording went long too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a lot to talk
We had a lot
about.
of questions.
There was a lot to talk about. Well,
You're the one that asked her about the duct tape.
Mike's looking to move into that
Genre.
that transition as well. So he's more educational purposes.
You might want to grow some hair first.
I can't. That's what they make wigs for.
There's always wigs. There's always wigs. So
There's some beautiful bald women out there.
the feedback on your episode was tough because once you come into our show, we protect you. You're our family. And we know you, we know who you are, we know what's in your heart. So when somebody comes in and tries to attack you, we take it as a personal attack against us. How can you bring somebody like that on there? Because that's what makes the world go round.
Yeah. Well, you got closed-minded people who they don't think outside the box.
There was that one guy.
Yeah.
The one guy on was
Instagram.
Instagram.
Instagram or Facebook.
He was all over us. Oh, you guys are doing great work, and we had you on. And he's like, I can't believe you support that. Y'all never listen to your show again. I'm like, that's fine, man.
Goodbye.
That's fine.
Saw that one.
Yeah, that's fine. No worries in the world to me.
So we lost one.
We lost one, but we've gained.
You listen,
we gained
that's not the people we want anyway.
Exactly. We talk to people from all different walks of life, and that's where we want to keep it. So after you were on our show, the people who were close to you who listened to the show, what'd they think?
They loved it.
Yeah.
They learned a few new things that they didn't know before. But yeah, I got very positive feedback.
You talk to like a lot of people in the trans community. Did anybody give you any feedback? Any good, bad, indifferent?
Most of them enjoyed it. There was a little bit of backlash because some people say, how do you share that? And, like, that's not our job to teach people, but those are the people that are never going to learn, and that's not how we want to be.
It's not like we're trying to teach people. We're just letting them know. You know, you're going to be setting your ideals, and they're going to be setting their ideals, as you say. And listen, I learned a lot from that. I learned a hell of a lot from that.
I really enjoyed the discussion we had on transgender going into athletics. Specifically, I enjoyed that because our views differ, all right? And that's okay, all right? You have your view, I have my view, but we can sit here and talk it out, and I'm not angry at you for having your view, nor hopefully you're not angry with me for having my view. It's just the way that it is. But that's, again, that solid discussion. And hopefully, through that discussion, we'll be able to meet in the middle and hammer out some of the details.
That's the problem with the world today. Nobody wants to meet in the middle. Everybody has their agenda, and one side has their agenda, the other side has their agenda, and nobody wants to meet in the middle.
So how's the career as an EMT going?
Going well. In school now for theater, changing my course, but
Theater?
yes.
You're not going to start a podcast, are you? Because it is all theater.
She's going to broadcasting school.
I'm behind the scenes, lighting,
okay.
sound, tech.
Well, pretty soon A&J Media, we are growing, so he is going to need somebody in that studio.
She could intern for us.
That's it. We'll give you intern credits. That's it.
Drew, you need an intern?
I do need them for senior year.
A&J is always given. It's non-paid though. I have
So is a podcast. Don't worry about it.
Well, Ashley, we always appreciate you. You're part of our family, and you need anything, you let us know.
You know, we'll include you in anything we do.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. We got some great guests coming up.
Sit your ass down.